We need to build a wall, and it has to be built quickly.
Good morning. It is 9:08 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, how are you? My name is Chris Hand. Show's brought to you by our friends at Better Water LLC, water filtration systems, water softeners, betterwater.com. You can listen to the show anywhere on iHeartRadio, TuneIn, the FM dial. You can watch us as well on Super Talk TV. That's on YouTube and Rumble. You want to know what I did in traffic this morning?
What'd you do in traffic this morning?
I stopped neglecting the meme chat.
Oh.
So we're doing a meme chat on Instagram. If you want in,
we've been done.
At Chris Hand on Air, shoot me a message, hit the follow button. You have to follow me to get into the meme chat. It's not my rules, that's Instagram's. I really don't care if you follow me or not. Just whatever. But if you follow me on Instagram, I can add you to our meme chat. I do have some other people. All right. I didn't neglect the meme chat this morning. I still have people to add to the meme chat. I have neglected that. But I dropped some fire memes in there today. I really did. There was one, I don't know why I thought it was so funny. Maybe it's because I'm inundated with kids stuff all the time.
Yeah.
But it was like how the farmer reacts in Charlotte's Web if it happened in real life. And he's just freaking out and grabs a gun. And he's like, the spiders are sentient. We have to burn down the barn. He spelled out terrific. That's a 5th grade word. What are we doing?
When did they get this smart?
This spider said, don't kill the pig. I have to kill the pig.
It may be smarter than me. I can't have it taking over.
I'm going to kill that pig. So I dropped a bunch of memes. Did I send you any memes this morning? I feel like I sent you a few.
I think I got a couple.
Yeah, I sent you a few. If you want to join the meme chat. That was probably the safest one that I dropped in. Probably the safest was the Charlotte's Web. Most of the memes. Completely unhinged. I dropped another one where it was a bunch of cops and they're surrounding a guy and they all have their guns out and they're like, where's the little girl? Where's the little girl? And the guy's like, I don't know what you're talking about. They're like, tell us, where's the little girl? And then they all load their firearms and the guy starts crying and one of the cop goes, there's the little girl. And they all get back in their car and they leave.
So good.
The unhinged meme chat is one of my favorite things that we get to do. It's like an off-air thing.
Yeah.
But you're welcome to join it. At Chris Hand on Air on Instagram. We got a lot to talk about today. We are going to be going in on flock cameras, so get ready for that. You know what I did last night?
Buckle up, smile for the picture.
I did some unhealthy research.
Ooh.
So it's like one of those things, my wife was like, why are you staring at the Tennessee State Constitution? She's like, are you going to work this into the lightning round so that way you can lie and say you were doing show prep? I was like, this really is show prep. She's like, oh, all right, I'll allow it. So we're going to talk about that because President Trump said yesterday inside the Oval Office that he's going to have a statement on flock cameras very, very soon. So we have this golden era of opportunity right now to be as loud as humanly possible about our position on flock cameras. So, now is the time to kick up dust, raise a stink, post about it on social media, get loud with your friends, tell everybody how you really feel about it. Because it does look like he's going to be coming to some determination here very, very shortly on how he feels about flock cameras. And we'll dive into all of that. We'll talk about the latest on Iran. We'll talk about Trump was in the Oval Office yesterday with a young hero, the 16-year-old boy that rescued the other little boy from drowning it was a wild, was it rip current? I think it was a rip current. I'm not an ocean expert. I'm not going to sit here and lie to you and tell you that I am an expert when it comes to the ocean. I just know it's scary. And President Trump, at one point, he looks at the little kid that was saved, and he goes, "You're lucky it was him, not me. I probably wouldn't have saved you." and I don't know.
Whoa.
To me, it felt so real because I'm like, yeah, we both would have drowned, bud. Like, that's the reality. If I would have gone in after you, but there would have been 2 victims, And it just felt real. It felt real to me. So, and it was hilarious. There's some trending headlines this morning. The Iran conflict continues. The Hormuz Strait to remain shut until U.S. meets interim deal conditions, says Iran. The top Iranian negotiator said the strait will remain shut until the U.S. meets conditions of the June 17th memorandum, lifting its blockade of Iranian ports, lifting oil sanctions, releasing frozen assets, and ending threats in military operations. The MOU has quickly unraveled in July, and Iran now says it will shift to a fully offensive posture. Got it. So the war. This is the war that never ends. Just goes on and on, my friends. Also, Florida and Alaska primaries offer early clues to the battle for Congress. Voters in Florida and Alaska go to the polls today. Florida is the first election since the new GOP map expected to net Republicans up to 4 House seats, leaving a 24-4 delegation, while Alaska's nonpartisan Senate primary puts incumbent Republican Dan Sullivan against Democrat Mary Peltola on the same ballot. And this one's wild because Mary, the Democrat here, she got endorsed by Kamala Harris. Did you see that? She got endorsed by Kamala Harris, and she went, "Please no, please."
I was going to say, do you think that's a deficit to her campaign?
It is devastating. She said, "Please, I didn't want that endorsement. I didn't ask for that endorsement. I don't like Kamala Harris. I'm not a fan. Please rescind your endorsement," which is pretty telling. Also, I mean, with the Democrat primaries, it does look like Kamala Harris is going to be the nominee. Do you see the way they're setting it up?
Yeah.
They're going like South Carolina first, which a lot of people are like, "What? You're freezing out the socialists." And it's like, yeah, they are. That doesn't mean that they're not going to govern like socialists. Don't worry. The approval rating for President Trump has fallen to 33%. This is according to Reuters Ipsos. So you got to take it with a grain of salt. Just 33% approved versus 64% disapproved in a 4-day Reuters Ipsos poll closing Monday, tied for the lowest of his 2 terms. 80%, including 71% of Republicans, think U.S. involvement in Iran will go on for an extended period, and only 1 in 5 Americans think the war has been worth it as gasoline prices weigh on households ahead of November 3rd midterms. This is gonna play into the midterm elections. Whether people like it or not, it absolutely is, and I think that we need to get through it as quickly as humanly possible. We mentioned it yesterday. Indonesia earthquake. The search for victims continues. More quakes hitting. Rescue teams focused on aerial monitoring for missing people Monday after Saturday's 7.7 magnitude earthquake killed at least 54, damaged around 500 homes. A separate magnitude 6.1 quake struck off of Sumatra Island Tuesday, 29 kilometers at depth. It's just getting messier and messier. And then there's some other trending stories, but it's nothing crazy. We'll be paying attention to all the stories. Phone lines are open for you too as well. If you want to join the conversation at 615-737-9986, that's the same number to text in, or you can jump in on the Unhinged YouTube chat, which is always a good time. President Trump with a young hero in the Oval Office. I do like that he took some time out to honor this young man inside the Oval Office. I think it's humanizing, and it's a nice break from the norm.
And this is a great story, and it's an honor to be with Ryder Williams, who is a 16-year-old lifeguard, California, the Santa Cruz area, and I understand he was a winner right from the time they first saw him as a lifeguard. A lot of training, a lot of work. And he saved this young gentleman, who I had a long talk with. I said, "Will you have made it without him? And you said, not really, it was trouble. So you're going to have a long and beautiful life.
Thank you.
And I just thought we were all watching, everybody watched, and got a lot of publicity because of the ferocity of the waves. I've never seen waves. I mean, that was sort of violent. We were just discussing, and at certain times of the year, mostly like right around now, the waves get very rough in that area.
If you were watching on Super Talk TV, not only did you see the president inside the Oval Office with young Ryder, but you also saw the video of the dramatic rescue right underneath it. Just another added bonus why you should watch on Super Talk TV. And people will be like, it's a radio show. We got to give other options. You know what I mean? We can do two things at once. We can walk and we can chew gum. But President Trump is there. So it's not just the lifeguard that made the rescue. It's also the young boy, Nathaniel, who was rescued. And his father is sitting next to him. And he's like, man, we just celebrated Nathaniel's birthday. No, excuse me. Today is his birthday. He said, we're going to celebrate his birthday. And, you know, we wouldn't be doing that if it wasn't for this hero.
Ryder did. I'm just beyond grateful to him and Aaron and the rest of the team and even the Good Samaritans that were there. I mean, it's just such a privilege to be sitting next to him today and be able to celebrate his birthday tomorrow.
And I'll bet you'll stay a little bit related to this group of people.
Absolutely.
Because you realize what a fantastic job they did.
We're a great
Probably,
family.
you know, it's interesting because they're saying that you have in that area so many different saves. You're saying that night you helped somebody out. Maybe not to that extent, but you helped somebody out. But maybe lifeguards don't get the credit they deserve. This really showed how important it is.
Yeah, listen, I think that's a great statement. Lifeguards don't get the credit they deserve. A lot of times when I think about lifeguards, I just think about the Sandlot. I mean, that's the extent of when I think about lifeguards, you know, that iconic scene. But these guys are real heroes, especially at some of these beaches, man, where it does get dicey. And they put themselves in danger. Ryder is 16 years old. Ryder Williams is 16 years old. And he threw himself into danger. He could have lost his own life. Even President Trump acknowledges, I don't know if I'd do it.
To see something like this happen, he's a real hero. You know, when you see that, I don't know if I'd do it. I wouldn't probably. You're lucky I wasn't. You're lucky I wasn't on service that day. I don't know, but no.
I don't know. I think that might be one of the funnier moments. I think that rivals J.D. Vance with a knife hand saying, "Why didn't you say thank you?" When the president says, "You're lucky I wasn't on duty," and then he looks at the little boy that was saved and he goes, "You're lucky. You're lucky it wasn't me." Because I don't know if I would do it if I was on service that day.
To see something like this happen, he's a real hero. You know, when you see that, I don't know if I'd do it. I wouldn't probably. You're lucky I wasn't. You're lucky I wasn't on service that day. I don't know, but no, he's a real hero. It's an amazing thing, and he's a real lucky guy.
He's right. He's right. I do love that they took a moment out of the day to honor this young man. I think that he deserves to be honored. Absolute boss move. President Trump asked him what he wants to do in the future with his life. Ryder Williams, who is 16, and he said, "Well, sir, I want to be a firefighter." And President Trump said, "Well, we'll get you a recommendation."
Inspired by what you did, can you tell us what was going through your mind at those dangerous moments, and what would you like to do in the future? How has this experience as a lifeguard shaped you?
In those dangerous moments that we have, we always try to fall back on our training. We are trained so well by many to handle that situation as best we can. So I really was thinking about how to get the boy out of the water as fast as I can. And for shaping my future, I want to be a firefighter in the future, hopefully go through paramedic school. And
He's off to a good start. We'll give him recommendations. We may have some good recommendations. Go ahead.
So they're inside the Oval Office. They have a great moment going on, and then they immediately start taking questions from the press. And this is where things get a little bit sideways. There are some good questions, but there's also a lot of back and forth between the president and the press right in front of the kids. Right in front of the kids. I mean, a couple times he's like, he looks at Ryder Williams, who's 16. He's like, "Can you believe how disrespectful they are? You would never be disrespectful like this, would you?" It was pretty funny. CNN actually had to put out a statement. They put out a statement because President Trump was mean to one of their reporters. We'll bring you all of that audio. Plus, what I think is the biggest takeaway from that gathering inside the Oval Office was when the president was asked about flock cameras. And that's kind of where we're going to take the conversation here momentarily. He says that flock cameras have pros and they have cons, and that he'll have an answer for what he thinks about it soon. I would argue that the cons outweigh the pros, and we're going to make that argument here for you momentarily. It's 9:22. This is Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, what's up? It's Chris Hand here for the Wellness Institute of Nashville. Once again, throwing my full seal of approval behind pretty much everything they're doing over there at the Wellness Institute of Nashville. Nobody can touch Dr. Mitchell when it comes to healing and cutting-edge technology. It's what they specialize in, and they've done it again with the brand new Medical Bay 1. It's a futuristic healing machine which was designed by Dr. Mitchell himself. You sit back like you're in a healing spaceship, getting a full-body massage while red light, near-infrared, and photon wavelengths light up your cells to heal exactly how God designed them to respond. It's going to literally stimulate your stem cells for real tissue regeneration. This is epic healing that you can only get at the Wellness Institute of Nashville. And don't forget, that's not where they stop. It's not just the Medical Bay 1. They also have their powerful non-surgical spinal decompression. You're going to get real relief without a doctor pushing surgery, without a doctor pushing painful injections, or somebody writing you a script for opioids. And right now, they're saving you a lot of money while you get back to a pain-free life. The Epic Spinal Special is going on. That's $33 off each and every visit for that non-surgical spinal decompression. You can launch your pain-free voyage today at painisbad.com, or you can pick up the phone and call 615-246-5009. Pull your phone out of your pocket, open the web browser or open the phone app, and go to painisbad.com or call 615-246-5009. A pain-free life is within reach. Painisbad.com.
Tension with allies in the Middle East continues to grow over the war with Iran. Also, military recruitment numbers are up. But there's more to the story. We'll have that at 9:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
That's Jay Harper in the newsroom. Headlines on the way in less than 1 minute. I was talking to Mason off the air. I need to go to the Joan Jones School of Negotiating. She got some good vacation time in her deal. I'm jealous.
Got me a little jealous, too.
I'm a little jealous. I'm not going to lie.
Can't blame her.
I'm kidding. I wouldn't take vacation anyway. I don't want to be away from you guys.
You were texting us all week while you were gone.
It's true.
About what was going on here.
This is true. So the president yesterday honoring a hero inside the Oval Office. I thought it was a cool moment. I really do. I think it was a nice break from the norm. And I think that this 16-year-old kid deserves to be honored. So I was really a big fan of it. After they got through the pleasantries, if you will, the questions began. There was a lot of back and forth with the press. It got a little heated at times. CNN had to issue a statement saying, Mr. President was very rude, very mean to one of our reporters. We'll talk about that. But first, after the news, we're going to dive into the response to this question.
A lot of debate right now about these license plate scanners that are going up across the country. They're called flock cameras. People are worried that the police might misuse them. Have you heard of them?
Yep.
Or what's your stance?
Well, it's being studied right now. You know, you have pros and cons, right? It's being studied right now. We'll have an answer sort of as to our views on it over the next couple of weeks.
Mr. President,
A lot of pros and cons. We'll have an answer to our views on it over the next couple of weeks. I'm going to make the argument for you on the way that the cons outweigh the pros. And then I'll tell you why in Tennessee, especially, these things are completely unconstitutional. So there's really only a couple of lanes for lawmakers to take. You abide by the Constitution or you rewrite the state constitution. We'll talk about all that and more next. It's 9:31. This is Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Yes, it is 9:31. I'm Jay Harper with your top story as a weather forecast is coming up. We've been talking about this crash this morning. We're learning some details here in Nashville. At least 2 people have been injured in a crash that involved a school bus this morning. This a crash up in Madison. Metro Nashville police at the scene of the crash confirmed the minor injuries, but the ages of those injured and the nature of the injury still not totally clear. A police spokesperson confirmed the crash did involve a Davidson Academy school bus. It had 19 kids on it as well as adults, all total. Another Davidson Academy bus responded to the scene to pick up the remaining passengers. 3 of the 5 southbound lanes of the interstate have been closed amid all this response. Looking at traffic cameras, it looks like some of the lanes are starting to get back open, but the backup, again, this is 65 up in the Vietnam Veterans area, 65 northbound. It is still pretty jammed up there, so just keep that in mind. Oil prices are climbing while talks with Iran are at a stalemate. Tension also growing with U.S. allies after President Trump threatened to bomb Oman if its negotiations with Iran over the Strait of Hormuz interferes with White House goals. Here's ABC News contributor and former U.S. ambassador to NATO, Doug Lute.
The rhetorical threat against Oman signals to the other Persian Gulf partners, so ranging from Oman through the Emirates, Bahrain, Qatar, Kuwait, the Saudis, that the U.S. is increasingly adrift of trying to find a path between war and peace. And that path is so far very uncertain. And so the president speaks out even against close partners like Oman.
The Trump administration celebrating new numbers showing that the military recruitment for Air Force, Navy, and Army, they've already hit their enlistment goals for this year. ABC's Jim Ryan, though, says the recruitment figures only tell part of the story.
Hard power and the ability to deliver. The Army's latest recruitment ad features the voice of Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth and video of soldiers and their weaponry. But interviews of military recruiters and recruits shows that young people are driven as much by pragmatism as patriotism, attracted by steady pay, education benefits, and job training. The Pentagon's own data backs that up, with financial compensation and benefits ranking as a top reason for joining the military.
That is the latest news. Weather on the way. I'm Jay Harper, WTN News.
Hey, what's up? It's Chris Hand here for my friends at Better Water LLC. Mason, do you know why people might want a water filtration system?
I don't like them putting chemicals in the water that turn the friggin' frogs gay.
Listen, maybe you have a soft spot in your heart for frogs. Maybe it's other reasons. Maybe you have some nasty stuff in your water like sulfur or iron or chlorine or bacteria or even E. coli. Whatever it is, Better Water is going to find out for you for free. They'll test your water. They'll test your water for free. And then if you have any of the nasty stuff in there, they offer a range of options to clean it up. Reverse osmosis, specialized filters, UV lights. Better Water is total pros at cleaning up your water. And you don't want to be making coffee with this stuff. You don't want to be bathing in it. You don't want to bathe your kids or your grandkids in this water. This is a local company. They've been doing it for a long time. They're already treating the water at the hospitals and coffee shops around town. Total pros. Stop drinking the junk out of your tap. Call Better Water today and at least get the peace of mind to know if your water is junk or not. They'll test it for free. 615-355-6063. That's 615-355-6063. Or you can find them online, betterwater.com.
So this dude's dog wanders into the shot. And who is this guy?
So this is Hassan Piker. He's a left-wing streamer. He's very radical, Muslim, friends with Mamdani, big Mamdani supporter. And, you know, this is just an insight to the kind of people they truly are at home. And he's on his live stream.
Yeah.
And as you said, his dog gets in the shot, won't sit down, which I understand. But at the same time, this dog is not getting in his way or anything. He is simply just circling, or as my wife would call it, nesting, trying to find that comfy spot.
Yeah.
So he shocks him.
Much more consequential violence, okay? It's the same reason as to why America, Kaya, please just f***ing go, just stop.
You know, kind of ironic this guy is
Oh,
talking
my
about
gosh.
violence.
Yeah, right?
While he shocks his dog. His dog's literally not even doing anything. He's just, as you said, he's circling in the background.
Yeah.
A lot of debate right now about these license plate scanners that are going up across the country. They're called flock cameras. People are worried that the police might misuse them. Have you heard of them?
Yep.
Or what's your stance?
Well, it's being studied right now. You know, you have pros and cons, right? It's being studied right now. We'll have an answer sort of as to our views on it over the next couple of weeks.
That's the president yesterday inside the Oval Office on flock cameras. My name is Chris Hand. This is Super Talk 99.7 WTN. The show is brought to you by our friends at Better Water LLC. He said, we're going to weigh out the pros and cons. The reporter said there's a lot of fears about the police misusing it. I would argue that the police misusing them is almost small potatoes here. I'm worried about a leftist or communist government misusing them. And on the police front, the police are already misusing them. You understand that, right? That not a hypothetical. There's tons of examples of this, and they will continue to misuse them. You want to know why? Because police officers are people, and people do silly things. Oh, but there's safeguards. Okay, yep. And my kids bowl with the bumpers, you know. And guess what happens when the adults want to bowl? The bumpers come down. And once the infrastructure is in place, there's going to be no turning around on this flock camera. We have a couple of weeks here, a golden window of opportunity to really get loud and really make some noise. The president's listening, so you should voice your displeasure. You absolutely should. And it's not just flock. Flock is the brand name. The infrastructure is what we're worried about. There's about 6 or 7 companies that are doing the exact same thing. These are not just license plate readers. These are AI-powered cameras that are tracking you everywhere you go. Oh, there's some fears that the police are misusing them. The police are already misusing them. You understand that, right?
This is the restraining order sought by the ex-girlfriend of New Bedford police officer Emily Pacheco. She says Pacheco was harassing and stalking her after they broke up, adding there is an open internal affairs investigation of her running my license plate through Flock to follow me. It's one of several investigations into misuses of Flock cameras at the New Bedford Police Department.
Several at just one police department in Massachusetts.
According to the police chief, who has now suspended the department's use of the Flock system. Flock cameras are mounted along public roads and take images of license plates as well as other descriptions of vehicles for a database.
You know, they're all just on public roads, except for the ones that are also pointed at the kids' splash pad, which you can find images of online. Except for the ones that are on the golf course, which you can find videos of online. Except for the ones that are pointed at the front door of Academy Sports, just, I don't know, maybe taking a picture of you as you walk out with your brand new firearm purchase. They're everywhere. They're everywhere. The police are already misusing them. Well, that's just Massachusetts, Chris. Okay. How about a Republican-led state? This is from South Carolina.
One of its officers has been terminated. According to the State Criminal Justice Academy, Ellie Hammond is accused of misusing Flock cameras. The report says that Hammond used Flock 166 different times with the tag belonging to a former significant other. We're told that she will not face criminal charges.
Weird. So she can abuse the system. She won't face criminal charges. The Flock cameras they're a necessary good, right? How did we ever catch bad guys before we had cameras, they might say? Oh, apparently we didn't. Apparently we never caught bad guys before we had cameras. That's the case that they want to make. Except for the fact that we're now making the innocent guilty until proven innocent. There was a situation on I-94. This is up in, I believe, Wisconsin, where police shut down the highway, boxed in a silver SUV, and held 2 people at gunpoint because Flock cameras flagged their car as connected to a homicide.
Brookfield police with guns drawn pull over a car they say was flagged by Flock cameras in connection to a homicide out of Milwaukee. Well, turns out this was all some sort of mishap with...
Whoops. Whoops. Oh. It was a happy little accident. Bob Ross turned it into a tree. It's going to be fine.
The Flock camera systems. In fact, Brookfield police say they called Milwaukee police and MPD said they no longer needed the car or the people inside, so officers let them go. But
So they shut down the highway. They pointed their guns at these innocent people. And then they went, whoops. Whoops, no big deal. No big deal. A professor from the Ohio State University made the case, and Breitbart posted this video, that what we're doing here with the flock cameras is pre-crime. And I think he's 100% correct.
Howdy, y'all. My name is Dr. Vietrin. I'm a professor at Ohio State University. At the Ohio State University, my areas of expertise include crime, surveillance, and policing. I've been doing this research for 14 years now, first at the University of California, and then at Yale, and now in Columbus. And it's my professional opinion that flock is a dystopian violation of our rights. And what I mean by that is that it inverts the very nature of how police are supposed to function. So in traditional investigations, a crime is supposed to happen first, and then detectives are supposed to identify a list of plausible suspects, and then those suspects are placed under investigation. But under flock, we are all, everybody in this room, every day, every time we get into our cars, we are all under investigation at all times for all crimes.
Bingo.
Then when a crime actually does occur, the police have a list of pre-investigated suspects. That's you, that's me, that's everybody in this room who gets in a car, that's everybody in this city. So today in Columbus, our constitutional rights, especially our Fourth Amendment rights, are flagrantly violated every single day as a matter of regular government policy. Let me phrase this another way. Today I've heard a lot in these chambers about investigating crimes. I've heard that a lot. Flock lets us investigate crimes, flock lets us prevent crimes. But it's my position that this is actually a misnomer. Despite what others have said here, flock does not investigate crimes at all. It is not a tool for investigating crimes. And that misnomer has apparently bamboozled several people in this room. Flock is, at its very foundation, a tool for investigating pre-crimes.
Bingo. This is dystopian. This is Orwellian. And I'm already getting the text on the text line. Chris, if you're anti-flock, then you're anti-cop. And I would say I'm actually pro-cop because I'm anti-flock. Once this infrastructure reaches critical mass, do you have any idea how many police officers are going to be laid off from their jobs? Seriously, do you have any idea? They're going to be wiped out. What's going to be the reason to have cops patrolling the streets when we have cameras on every single street corner? We're going to see massive layoffs of police officers in this country if this goes unabated. Do you know what a general warrant is? It's the kind of warrant that lets the government search almost anywhere, seize almost anything without naming a specific person, without describing a particular crime, and without any real evidence that a crime has been committed. It's broad and it's open-ended. The kind of power that the founders of this country absolutely despised. And it's the kind of power the people who wrote the Tennessee Constitution looked at and said this is dangerous to liberty and it ought not to be granted. Article 1, Section 7 from the Tennessee Constitution. It actually brings this up explicitly. Many are arguing this is even stronger than the Fourth Amendment in the United States Constitution, what we have here in Tennessee. Tennessee should be a leader in this area. This is Article 1, Section 7, that the people shall be secure in their persons, houses, papers, and possessions from unreasonable searches and seizures, and that general warrants whereby an officer may be commanded to search suspected places without evidence of the fact committed or to seize any person or persons not named whose offenses are not particularly described and supported by evidence are dangerous to liberty and ought not to be granted. Read the word again. Possessions. That the people shall be secure in their persons, houses, papers, and possessions. Your car's a possession. It's your property. And the Constitution of Tennessee says that you shall be secure in your possessions. It doesn't carve out an exception for the government to put up a network of cameras that log every place that possession goes every single day without suspicion, without a warrant, and without naming you or any specific crime. And that's exactly what flock cameras do. They sit on our roads, they sit in our neighborhoods, and they scan and log every vehicle, every license plate, make, model, time, location. And it goes a bit further than that. If you walk by it, it's logging your Bluetooth on your phone as well, with zero evidence the entire time that anyone has done anything wrong. Then the data is stored, the data is searchable, and any officer can later pull the history of where that car has been without a judge ever looking at it, without probable cause, without describing a specific offense supported by evidence. This is continuous, suspicionless collection of movements of your property stored and searchable at will. That's a general warrant. The kind that Article 1, Section 7 of the Constitution of Tennessee was written to forbid. So Tennessee should be leading the charge in this. Not expanding it, not defending it, not pretending it's different because the cameras are on public roads. The Constitution of this state already settled it. And we don't need permission from Washington, D.C. or the President of the United States to enforce it. So there needs to be a line in the sand for every lawmaker in this state, straight down the line, from the governor to the lieutenant governor to the speaker, every senator, every representative, every mayor, every sheriff. Abide by the Constitution of the state of Tennessee or admit you want to rewrite it. Just do that. You don't get to say that you support the Constitution while you're allowing a system that precisely does what it prohibits. You got to choose. That's important. Tennessee conservatives, Tennessee Christians, we need to speak out against flock cameras. You need to speak out against flock cameras. Like I said, we have a window of opportunity here over the next week or two as the president makes his determination on the pros and cons. And I'll tell you why. We just lived through what happened during the Biden administration. Okay? We saw what happens when the federal government decides certain Americans are the problems. Certain Americans are domestic terrorists. And this isn't like a hop and a skip. During the Biden administration, moms and dads who showed up at school board meetings were labeled domestic terrorists. The Justice Department was involved. Pro-life activists faced intense scrutiny. They got raided. Traditional Catholics were signaled out in internal documents. Conservatives who spoke up, conservatives who organized or simply held the wrong views, they had the eyes of the federal government turned towards them. It's not a conspiracy theory. It's what happened. We watched it. Now look at what we're building in Tennessee. A permanent, searchable network that logs the movement of every car that drives by a camera, every person that walks by a camera, without suspicion, without a warrant, and without naming any particular crime or person. The data is going to sit in a system that can be searched and shared. Once the infrastructure is in place and it's normalized, it doesn't care what party is in power. And it will be available to the next administration that decides parents or Christians or conservatives are again the threat that need monitoring. You know it and I know it. We're not talking about theory. We're talking about creating the exact kind of continuous tracking system that a future Democrat or, God forbid, a communist government will absolutely abuse. These same tools that can find a stolen car today can map who attended church tomorrow, who went to a school board meeting tomorrow, who went to a pro-life gathering tomorrow. And when that day comes, everybody's going to be shocked. Everybody's going to be stunned. Oh my gosh, how did this happen? And the same people that defended these cameras going up are going to be the target of these cameras. This is why we have to act now while conservatives still hold power in Tennessee, while conservatives still hold power in this country. The Constitution of Tennessee already forbids general warrants. Article 1, Section 7, super clear. Your car is a possession. You're supposed to be securing it from this kind of suspicionless surveillance. If we don't enforce our own Constitution when we have the majority, then we're simply going to hand the next hostile administration a ready-made tracking network and pretend we stood for limited government. So you got to choose. You got to choose. Pastors should be in on this. Why aren't pastors in on this? You watch how quickly the government pressure shut you down, turned your churches into vacant parking lots, and you're going to stand quiet while the state builds a quiet record of where your congregation drives. Where are the pastors? The window to stop this is open right now. It's not going to stay open forever. So we can either draw the line while we still can, or we just sit on our hands and let them build the infrastructure that is later going to be used against us because we can say that it's public safety. There's no third option. It's 9:54. This is Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, what's up? It's Chris Hand here for my friends at the Glock store. Listen, your security is your responsibility. And I think everybody should have a firearm, but you need to know when and how to use it. And you're going to be able to tackle both of those with the Force on Force training back at the Glock store Saturday, September 19th. 2 classes available, 9:30 a.m. and 2 o'clock p.m. Each class has about 15 slots available, and they're running out fast, but they start with a briefing on current Tennessee laws and the event parameters, including the safe word. You're going to need a safe word. More on that in a second. You're going to be thrust into an intense, realistic, live-action scenario. That way you can test not only your marksmanship, but your split-second decision-making skills. So for me, when I went in and did the Force on Force training, they hand you a little note card. And they say, this is your situation. So my situation was, you get home, it's late at night. We're in one of the private shooting rooms. The lights are off. They say, it's late at night. Your front door is ajar. Figure it out. I didn't know how many burglars may or may not be inside the home. I just knew that I had to get in there and decide what I was going to do and if lethal force was necessary. So anyways, I started blasting. Not every scenario is going to be the same. You're going to learn a lot. The Force on Force experience is unreal, and it's only at the Glock store. Sign up today. Learn not just how to use your firearm, but when to use your firearm. Glockstore.com/FOF. That's Glockstore.com/FOF.
It is 10 a.m. I'm Jay Harper with your top stories. A weather forecast is coming up. Oil prices are climbing while talks with Iran remain at a stalemate, and tension is growing with U.S. allies as the ceasefire agreement with Iran expires. ABC News contributor and former U.S. ambassador to NATO, Doug Lute, he says the U.S. really has few options besides either escalating or negotiating to end the war with Iran.
Eventually, the president could face an option, could design an option of evacuate, meaning that he accepts something that is far less than fully desirable, but good enough to craft a narrative that the U.S. backs away.
Another day of testimony in the trial of a Massachusetts mother accused of murdering her 3 children. Lindsay Clancy's former mother-in-law testifying today that Lindsay reached out for help with postpartum mental illness. ABC's Peter Haralambous has more.
Prosecutors appear to be kind of losing ground. We're hearing these text messages between Lindsay Clancy and her former mother-in-law where they're struggling with what to do about these medications, which Clancy's blaming for worsening her symptoms. Some of the messages, I'm not okay, I'm terrified of taking the meds tonight. I was never ever this depressed. It was brought on by the medication. That's exactly the point that defense lawyers have been hammering at, and prosecutors, for whatever reason, are eliciting it with their questions.
Back here in Nashville, a man was caught shining a laser at a Metro Nashville Police Department helicopter. Metro Police reported that a helicopter was working on a fleeing vehicle call Saturday when a laser beam shone at the chopper.
Everyone, we're being lased at 1017. Let me see. 1017 Harold Drive. 1017 Harold Drive.
1017 Harold Drive is going to be south.
Couple through from there. 10-4. It's going to be the bottom apartment. Yeah. And it's 2 individuals standing out on the bottom deck.
Police found the suspect and recovered the laser. Bradley Powell, 47 years of age. He was arrested and charged with aggravated assault against the officer in flight and for tampering with evidence after he hid the laser in a drawer in his apartment. That is the latest news. Weather's coming up. I'm Jay Harper, WTN News.
It's 10:05 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. My name is Chris Hand. The show is brought to you by Better Water LLC. Water filtration systems, water softeners, betterwater.com. I made my case on the flock cameras. I think I was pretty efficient. But it's also not an echo chamber. And I want to know what you think. 615-737-9986. If you think I'm wrong, you go to the front of the line. Let's start with Matt in Centerville. This is what it says on the just so you know, we have a call screen. And Mason puts in a little blurb. He's got room for a little blurb about the take.
Just a little blurb.
All the blurb says is, you are wrong. And I was like, perfect. This sounds like a great first call. Matt, welcome to the program, man. How are you?
What's up, brother? You do a great job. Hey, listen, I'll say this. You know what? You talked about Catholics. You talked about pro-life. You have talked about protesters. Let me ask you this. Did all that happen before flock cameras?
Yes.
Did they arrest him anyway?
Yes.
Did they put him in jail anyway?
So you say bend the knee?
They're not bend the knee, bro. They're going to do what the hell they want.
But
You know
why?
what I mean?
But why on earth
With
would? Why on
flock
earth
cameras or
would? But your argument is make it easier for them.
They're going to do it anyway, bud. They're going to do it anyway.
So just make it easy.
They're going to come get you anyway if they want to. I mean, Christ, a woman got arrested for praying a rosary.
So make it
in
easy.
front of an abortion clinic.
But does
right?
I think that was in England, but still, so just make it easy.
Dude, they're going to do it anyway. If it can do some good.
If you look,
you haven't talked.
If you look at England and you look at the West, man, they have all this surveillance, this capability. They never target who they say they're going to target. They only target the conservatives.
You know what? They targeted conservatives here too before when Biden was in office. What stopped them?
So just let it go and let the surveillance state be built out. Do you have kids or grandkids?
What stopped them?
But here's the thing.
Yeah, you know what?
You get where this goes next, right? Like China didn't get cameras. China didn't get cameras overnight. They got them because they promised safety. And then what led next was the social credit system. Is that what we want for our kids?
I have both, and I have parents that are in their 90s. And you know what? If they get lost and they get picked up by a flock camera and they get them back home, I'm a fan of flock cameras. If one of my grandchildren gets abducted by a guy who carjacked my daughter and took the car with the baby in the back, and they bring the baby home because of a flock camera, I'm a fan. You know what I mean? You're going down a negative path here, bud. You got
I completely disagree. If you sacrifice liberty for temporary safety, you deserve neither liberty nor safety.
So I know you're a family
your
man.
safety is going to be your personal responsibility. If you don't want your daughter to get carjacked, you tell her to bring a firearm with her, so that way she can start blasting.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's okay. But if there's two.
Okay, I'm just saying,
You know what?
I hear where you're coming from, but were the police at a 0% catch rate before cameras were around?
No, if this is going to help them, I'm a fan. I'm a fan.
Okay, nobody's arguing that it won't help them. I'm arguing about the second and third order once this infrastructure is in place. You're focused on the here and now, and I'm focused on the what happens next.
If you're not breaking the law, who cares?
See, that's such a BS argument, because you just said that they were targeting pro-lifers and conservatives, and they're going to get you anyway. And now your argument is if you're breaking the law, you have nothing to worry about.
Chris, they did that without flock cameras.
That's what I'm saying. But then, so your argument can't be if you're not breaking the law, you have nothing to worry about. Why on earth would we make it easier for these people?
Chris, you know what? I was going to church when nobody else could go to church because they told us we couldn't go to church anymore. Right? They shut the churches down. They shut you and Christianity down, took you away from Jesus. What the hell was there to stop them then? A camera?
So
Was it for us or for them?
you just want to
There
make
was
it
no
easier.
Camera.
So there
was no camera.
But do you understand, there's going to be a searchable database, so I can predict where you're going to be at Wednesday at 2:00.
At work.
But that's what I'm saying. I can figure it out with these camera systems, and with the AI behind it, it's chaos.
I'll tell you what, it is chaos, and because there are two sides of the story. You tell the bad side of the story, and you're up on the bad side of the story. Find some good stories that flock cameras have done. Tell both sides of the story. And the police officers that misused the camera system, they were terminated. It's on their record.
But I'm not just worried about the police officers. It's clearly demonstrated that police officers have misused these systems already.
Yep.
That innocent people have had to go through the process where they're guilty until proven innocent. You have cases like the woman that was accused of being a porch pirate. You have the case on I-94 where innocent people had the highway shut down on them and guns drawn on them. I mean, there's cases of this. So you're a fan of inverted policing.
What about the baby in the back?
Are you a fan of inverted policing?
You know what? They're going to police, and they're going to do what they want to. They prove that.
So make it easy for them. So make it easy for them. If you're going to throw up your hands and say there's nothing I can do about it, then you're part of the problem.
I'm not part of the problem.
You literally are bending the knee. You're on the phone with me saying there's nothing we can do about it. Why fight? Why resist? Why resist an oppressive government? There's nothing you can do about it.
Did I bend the knee before flock cameras?
You're bending the knee now. Yeah, okay.
Because I had to. Before flock cameras, I was forced to bend the knee. I couldn't leave my neighborhood. I couldn't go to the store. I couldn't go to church. I couldn't even work.
So your argument is give them more oppressive technology to make it easier next time.
Well, it is. There's two sides of the story. Yep, it's oppressive technology if you want to look at it that way. And if you want to look at it the way it's more for safety, because my daughter got hijacked with her son in the car, and my grandson got brought back home because a flock camera tracked the car down quicker before they could get any further. You know what I mean? There's there's two sides to it. There's positives and negatives. Police that are misusing it get terminated. It goes on their record.
My argument would be your daughter's safety is her responsibility. She should have had a firearm, and she should have stopped that carjacker in his tracks. The government is not responsible for your safety. The Supreme Court has ruled that police officers don't even have to get involved if they're watching you get beat up by a madman on the side of the street. Your safety is always going to be your responsibility. So to make it easier to be oppressed by the government is a bad idea every single time. Matt, I do appreciate that you listen, and I appreciate that you came in with a different perspective. But I got a bunch of people.
It's not my idea. It's what happened. It happened to us already.
Yeah, so you're exactly, and your argument is make it easier the next time they want to do it.
What stopped them the first time, bud?
Okay, you're right. No, listen, Matt, we disagree on one thing. It doesn't mean I dislike you at all.
I love you too, bud. I'll talk to you soon.
All right, brother. Take care. Let's go. I like that. Yeah, this is the thing that I like. I just hope you understand that. You can have a passionate disagreement with someone and then be like, no, I still like you. It's all good. John in Middle Tennessee, he is a member of law enforcement. How are you, John?
Hey, Chris. That's my as well. Like I listen to you and the rest of the guys every day, Monday through Friday. I work 12-hour shifts. I start at 6 a.m. and end at 7 p.m., so sometimes 13. So I missed Dan's first hour, but I heard it's not his best, so that's okay. But same thing. I feel like I listen to y'all so much that we're like family, and we can have a disagreement and still be good friends.
Amen. So, that's what it's about.
I agree with you on the future of flock. I know everybody's talking about the now of flock, but you're right. The future, we don't know. And so I got a couple points, and then I'll get your rebuttal at the end if you don't mind.
Yes, sir.
So I started in law enforcement 10 years ago, and when I was working for an agency, we did, now we've got CADs in the car, where we can see our calls, things of that nature right there in front of us. When I started, I had a whiteboard that I had to write stuff down on every time dispatch would give me a call. I'd have to write the address down and stuff. And so now we're for an agency that we have the CAD and I can look at it. So that was an improvement in technology that helped me do my job better. Yes, I could go back to a whiteboard tomorrow and do just as much. And I take the same sentiment to the flock cameras. I work for an agency now that has flock cameras, and I've been working for them for the past 3 years, and we've had it the whole time I've been here. But prior to that, I didn't have flock, so I had to do old-fashioned police work just like anybody else anytime. But I will say there are some things that maybe I work with flock like directly, so I don't know. Axon has their cameras. There's, like you said earlier, there's several different companies that have a version of this.
Flock is just the current name brand.
Yes, that's what everybody.
It's like Kleenex, but there's a ton of different tissue companies.
Right. So I don't know exactly what those other companies provide. I can only speak from what I know from Flock. So I don't know what research you've done with the other companies to determine their AI capabilities and stuff like that. But I can kind of help you out with Flock in particular. Flock, as much as I work with it, I don't know there's not any AI that is associated with it. There's no options for AI. There's no I don't know.
I mean, there's absolutely AI involved in it. They can tell the AI analyzes the car. It can list the bumper stickers. It can list the damage to the vehicle. It absolutely, whether it's a front-facing feature or not, or would be enabled later, it absolutely has facial recognition technology. Right, you walk by the Flock cameras, and even if you're not in a vehicle, it will log your Bluetooth on your phone. I mean, the tech is there. And then the AI, it's baked into the cake just because it's not, might not be available front-facing today, doesn't mean that they can't flip a switch. Like, if I'm Elon Musk and I'm running Twitter, I can flip a switch and make sure that nobody can tweet out the F word. Like, just because it's not used doesn't mean that it's not there.
Okay, well, you may have done more research in it than I have. I just know that I'm a daily user of it, and this is what I have access to right now is what I'm telling you, is when it's basically a picture. And I will say maybe it's AI that reads the plate to get the digits, or if it's just like a scanner. I don't know on that part. But connecting things together and doing all that stuff, I have no idea what you're talking about. I can't do that. But I will say, one thing that Flock does is it's changed here recently to where it stores photos for 30 days. I agree, which it would make it harder if we were, let's say something happened and we were trying to say, okay, what vehicle went through that area at that time that this thing happened. It would make it harder for that. But I think it would be easier for people if we said, all right, we don't save the photos at all, because all Flock does is, let's say I have a stolen vehicle and then I've got the plate in the vehicle. I put that into the system saying, hey, let me know if this vehicle goes by a camera. And so if it goes by a camera, it'll ding and let us know, hey, this vehicle's in this area. Instead of saving everyone that goes by it, it only looks at the plate and deletes, looks at the plate and deletes. And that way it's only dinging for stuff that we have a criminal case on.
I mean, but you're arguing for warrantless surveillance.
Well, that's another point I was going to try to make, is the Fourth Amendment says unreasonable searches and seizures. It's already been discussed that it's not unreasonable for us to search plates on public roads. Just like there's other exceptions.
That's the Fourth Amendment of the U.S. Constitution. Article 1, Section 7 of the Constitution of Tennessee says that the people shall be secure in their persons, houses, papers, and possessions, which would be a car, from unreasonable searches and seizure, and that general warrants whereby an officer may be commanded to search suspected places without the evidence of fact committed, or to seize any person or persons not named whose offenses are not particularly described and supported by evidence, are dangerous to liberty and ought not to be granted. So I would say to you that when you're gathering my plates, when you're taking a snapshot of my car and the people that are in the car, you're taking a search on my possession, and that is a general warrant, which is explicitly prohibited in the state of Tennessee.
We got that. If you don't mind, I'm not trying to argue with you. Like I said, this is from my experience, 10 years in law enforcement dealing with it. I will just say that when it comes to that general warrant thing you're talking about, so let's say we go to get a search warrant for a residence, okay? When we go to get that search warrant, we have to name the things we're looking for. We have to name the address, the location. You also have to name, it's almost like a map. Like you have to write down directions to that address from the courthouse, like turn left on this road, turn right on that road.
So I have a general warrant described as, and you can disagree with me, as a warrant that lets the government search almost anywhere or seize almost anything without naming a specific person, without describing a particular crime, and without any real evidence that a crime has ever been committed.
Yes, you're correct. That's as if I have a piece of paper that says I want to search this place, whatever, and I take it to the judge, and the judge cannot issue that search warrant because I haven't described those things.
So the Tennessee Constitution says that my possessions are also secure from that, and those general warrants ought not be granted.
Right. And it's not a warrant. It's not because the flock camera system is not an exception. I won't say an exception, but it's two separate things. That's like your cell phone. If I wanted to search your cell phone, I have to get a search warrant. If you get arrested for DUI and you do a blood draw, you have to get a search warrant for that. Public roadways, where like I'm sitting on the side of a public road right now in my patrol car talking to you, and every car that passes me, I could run their plate right now, and there's nothing that says I can't do that.
But isn't that different than having a searchable database for where I was on Thursday at 2:00, Friday at 1:00, Saturday at 3:00, Sunday at 12:30? I mean, is that not different?
Yes, I would say that's different, but that's where I kind of conceded in my explanation earlier, where Flock stores that information. I would agree that we shouldn't store information with no crime related. It's a waste. There's no point. But the system itself, if I have a crime and somebody stole a vehicle, somebody kidnapped a kid, something of that nature, I would go to the system, put that information in, and say, from this point forward, look for this plate.
And I get the argument. I get the argument
now.
Yeah, I get the argument.
It's not going to be great later.
Yeah, I get the argument on how that helps you today, and I'm not even necessarily against how that helps you today. Like I get that, but
I think that's where we both agree.
But even the guardrails that you're talking about, once the infrastructure is built out, we're talking about an app that can be changed. The code can be changed. The capabilities are always going to be there.
Right, and I think that's where, I know you hate the use of guardrails, but I think that's where putting it into law, those guardrails, so that way we can't, in say 5 years, flip a switch.
See, I just think
without going through the proper.
There'll always be someone or something that can abuse or change that. What I would I am up against it. I will ask you one more question. How do you think the founding fathers would have responded to technology like this being used by the British?
I understand that as well. My thought on that was that technology is always improved. That's why, the Democrats are always fighting the Second Amendment because what would the founding fathers think of our AR-15s or whatever?
No. But what do you think? How do you think that Washington or Madison or Jefferson would have responded to this? They would have flipped. They would have absolutely flipped. And your silence tells me exactly where we're at. John, I appreciate the call, man.
It's hard to argue that point.
I know, but it's part of the conversation, and I appreciate the conversation with you, even though we disagree, man. Thank you for listening, and thank you for what you do.
I love you too.
All right, brother. It's 10:26. This is Super. We'll take some more calls on the other side, just so you know. Everybody that's on the line that wants to weigh in, you will have an opportunity to weigh in. It's 10:26 on Super Talk 99.7 WTM.
It is 10:30. I'm Jay Harper with your top stories. That forecast coming up in just a bit. Oil prices continue to climb while talks with Iran, they're at a stalemate. Tension also growing with U.S. allies as the ceasefire agreement with Iran expires. ABC News contributor and former U.S. ambassador to NATO, Doug Lute, he says the U.S. really has few options ahead for ending the war with Iran.
The options are escalate and try to convince the other side that we can induce pain that is intolerable. And of course, Iran holds that option as well. Negotiate, but there seems to be so little trust between the two parties now that seems unlikely.
Back here in the U.S., as kids head back to school, the CDC says the rate of vaccine exemptions in American kindergartners has reached a record high. Here's Rianne Eli. She's got the details.
Most exemptions are actually non-medical reasons, such as religious exemptions. And it comes as the country is dealing with a record-breaking year for measles cases in the last 35 years. The CDC says the percentage of kindergartners getting the MMR vaccine, which protects against measles, mumps, and rubella, slipped to 92.4%. And that is below the 95% experts say is needed to maintain that herd immunity.
We turn now to this morning's money news. For that, here's Jim Ryan.
Stocks opened the trading week with losses. The Dow giving up 273 points, the S&P losing 0.5%, the Nasdaq slipping 0.33%. Futures were lower overnight as investors react to rising oil prices. The Trump administration ratchets up its tariff war with Canada tomorrow, imposing a 50% tariff on furniture, wine, cement, and clothing coming over the border. All told, $20 billion worth of Canadian goods will be affected. If you drive up to your favorite supermarket to find the doors locked, the store was probably owned by Kroger. The grocery chain is moving ahead with plans to close 60 stores under multiple brands in more than a dozen states by the end of the year. Red Lobster is carefully bringing back its endless shrimp deal, offering 5 varieties, including a new one, garlic bread crusted shrimp. The same promotion helped to drive the seafood chain into bankruptcy when it was permanently added to the menu 3 years ago. This time, it's only a temporary offer.
That is the latest news. We've got weather on the way. I'm Jay Harper, WTN News.
Hey, what's up? It's Chris Hand here from my friends at USS, United Structural Systems. I love these guys. These guys are the absolute best. And if you got an issue going on at your home, there's a good chance that it's not just a home issue, it is a peace of mind issue. When you're noticing cracks in your walls, uneven floors, or a driveway that's starting to sink, who you trust to fix it absolutely matters. And this is why I'll recommend United Structural Systems every single time. They've been doing things the right way since 1994. You don't stay in business that long without doing things the right way. No scare tactics, no quick fixes, just real inspections, honest answers, and solutions that are built to last. So whether it's foundation repair or crawl space issues or concrete leveling for your driveway or patio, USS is going to use engineered systems designed for long-term performance, not temporary patches. And here's what stands out. If you don't need the work, that's what they say. And if you do, they'll explain exactly what they're going to do before the job begins. Right now, they're offering tons of financing options so you can get it fixed today and pay for it later. Because if you wait, waiting usually means more expensive. So don't wait. It will cost you more. Visit USSTN.com or call 615-488-7855. 615-488-7855. United Structural Systems, USSTN.com.
A lot of debate right now about these license plate scanners that are going up across the country. They're called flock cameras. People are worried that the police might misuse them. Have you heard of them?
Yep.
What's your stance?
Well, it's being studied right now. You know, you have pros and cons, right? It's being studied right now. We'll have an answer sort of as to our views on it over the next couple of weeks.
38 minutes past the hour on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, how are you? I'm Chris Hand. The show is on all the apps, the FM dial. We're on YouTube and Rumble as well. The YouTube chat is unhinged as always. The Super Text line and the phone lines are there for you as always. Same number for both, 615-737-9986. You heard the president there yesterday inside the Oval Office. I'm aware of the flock cameras, and we're going to have an opinion on them in the next couple of weeks. If there was ever a time to get loud about your opposition to the coming surveillance state, today is that day, my friends. So we're having the conversation. And I made my case. I laid it out perfectly clear. I don't think it's constitutional in the state of Tennessee. I think it is anti-Tennessee Constitution. And I think our lawmakers need to draw a line in the sand. You either rewrite the Constitution or you take down the flock cameras. That's my position. You're welcome to disagree with me. We got a line of callers do they all disagree? Is everybody disagreeing with me? Is it just about everybody?
Yeah, for the most part.
All right. Well, I'm here for it. I'm ready. I have my arguments loaded.
Oh, yeah.
So disagreements go to the front of the line. 615-737-9986. 615-737-9986. All right, so you said they're mostly against me. We'll just find out. Who's been on the line the longest? Let's go to Joey in West Nashville. What's up, Joey? How are you?
Hey, how's it going?
Good, man. What do you got?
I'm like you. I'm totally against it, but I don't think nothing's going to change it. I don't. You notice how majority of law enforcement, you cannot find one of them that are against it. They love it. They can track their ex-girlfriend. They can do whatever they want to do on it. They are never going to go. And that's where you can see, do they really have our back? And I don't know. I feel like they're coming after the Fourth Amendment, the First and the Second.
Yeah, I mean, Joey, you take the black pill position on everything.
What's my black pill position on this?
Your black pill position on this is that nothing can change. Why do like?
Marsha Blackburn is for them.
Blackburn
is for them.
Her surrogates have been coming out against them. Burchett came out against it. Glenn Jacobs came out against it.
For sure.
They all supported Marsha Blackburn. There's people in her inner circle that are talking to her about it right now. I like you, Joey. You know I like you. This is why I always let you on. But you do. Your position is almost the exact same as somebody who says they're here for our safety because you're like, nothing can happen. Why even speak up against it?
Okay, well, they're already putting them up. Okay, they're already putting them up. And they're not going to go away because of the fact of they're using so much data. They're getting so much data from these things that they're putting up the data centers. The third party, like, okay, we get on Facebook or we talk, say you talk at Publix about going camping. We get ads on our phone from that for the next 2 weeks. The results of all the third party data that these things are going to collect for advertising, for so much more is another reason they want them. But, I'm black-pilled. I think they're going to go to their bunkers. The Christians are going to fight the Muslims, the gays versus the straights, and we're going to be fighting for water, brother. And they just want to watch it. But,
okay.
Yeah, I won't go into that, but I don't think they're going nowhere.
I will say this. You said every police officer is for him, right? I got a text here from 0202. He said, former law enforcement officer here, retired out of the Chicago suburbs. He goes, well, okay, but you said every law enforcement officer. Let me provide a counterpoint. Let me provide a counterpoint.
All right.
He said, I solved all kinds of crime without flock cameras. These guys don't understand that their own government will turn it against them one day. It doesn't matter that they're police officers. Keep fighting the good fight. So should we not keep fighting the good fight?
I mean, we should, but I think our tactics need to. We just sit back and complain and complain and complain. I don't know. When it cools down, I'm going to go protest. You'll find me out in Centennial Park. I'm gonna set up my car with a bunch of cardboard signs around it, like I used to make fun of people when I was younger. I'm one of them now because I
am also one of the people that I used to make fun of when I was younger. I feel you on that. I appreciate the call, Joey, as always.
Yeah, no worries. Have a great day, bro.
All right, man. God bless. Let's go to Sean in Franklin. Sean, you're up next on Super Talk. What's up?
Not much, man. I'm a little confused, just a little bit on the whole flock camera stuff. I don't see much of a difference between me going out and shooting these videos outside of police departments. Well, I'm allowed to do it because I'm in public. I'm a private person. I can do what I want to do. It's a public area. I can shoot it. Versus a private company shooting pictures of cameras and shooting pictures of cars and all this stuff. So I don't really understand.
So let me ask you a couple questions.
Sure.
Is the video that you shoot on a public street searchable? Can I search it if you don't post it?
If I don't post it, no.
Okay. Can I also then create a network with every other person that's shooting video on a public street and search all of those cameras at once?
No, you can't.
Can I track you from camera to camera to create a database over the course of 30 days, mapping out everywhere you go in town? Say you live in Murfreesboro or Franklin, everywhere you go in Franklin, from church to the gas station you frequent, back home. If there's a flock camera between your home and your child's school, I know when you're going there. Can I do that while you're shooting video, just you, on a public street?
Just me doing it? No, but
that's the difference. That's the difference.
Chris Cam,
but
all I do is watch you go to the restrooms, restaurants, go to businesses, go to whatever. And as long as I'm standing outside of a building while you're doing it, yeah, I can have 10 people lined up in a path and looking in different areas for you and post that, and people can very easily look at Chris Cam that shows what restaurants you go to. So I mean, that's the thing is, like, if I had access to 100 people with cameras, then yeah, I could put that online, and everybody can chase you down and see what you do.
So should we allow the government to be able to do this then?
Is Flock a government or is it a private business?
It's a private business that's contracted with the government.
That's what my question was: is why is it different than any other private little person who goes out and takes the pictures?
Can you not see the second and third order of this when a government is inevitably going to abuse it?
Yet again, people are allowed to take pictures and stuff on public property. I don't see.
So your position is bend the knee. It's fine. It's fine if that's your position.
It's more make it equal than the knee. If it's okay for
if it's make it equal, do you think that the sheriff of your county would appreciate you and 10 other individuals following him around and filming him?
Oh, see, I think that would be a great idea.
But do you think that would be approved?
Oh, he probably wouldn't like it, but he couldn't say anything about it. Well,
okay,
he could. I mean, there's tons of cases where these guys go out and get arrested for shooting on public property, and then they go to court and find out it's legal for them to do. But I mean, I don't have a problem with that. I would love a bunch of people to go after Blackburn and everybody else and follow everything they do and put it up on a website. I would love that. That would be awesome to me. I just don't see what the true difference is between having that. And you did also ask the question of, would the founding fathers like England doing? Well, no, they wouldn't like England doing that because that was an invading country. Well, we were here. They were here first. But still, we were getting rid of them and fighting to be away from them.
It was an impressive government overruling on us. Do you think that?
Correct.
Do you think that would be?
We were fighting for our government. We already have our government now. We were no longer ruled by England. So I don't see how that's really a.
So you're fine with mass surveillance?
I'm fine with. I mean, yeah, I guess I am.
Okay. I mean, hey, listen. That's a position that you were allowed to take, man, and you're well within your rights to have that position. Let's go to Nick in Lebanon. What's up, Nick? How are you?
Hey, how's it going, man?
Good. What do you got?
So, I do not like the flock cameras, but I feel like if we're gonna have this conversation, we also got to talk about our phones and our cars and everything else they're trying to track us with. The new cars that are coming out in 2027, they're trying to make the car track your eyeballs. So, to see if you're okay to drive. In any circumstance, if the car deems you not worthy to drive, you're not allowed to drive.
Yeah, I mean, I'm against that stuff.
I feel like if we're having this conversation, we got to talk about these other things that are.
But the argument
Your
there,
phone's tracking you everywhere.
the argument is choice, right? I have the choice to put my phone in a Faraday bag, and then I don't get tracked at all. I have the choice to buy an older car or a car without that feature, and then I don't have to worry about it at all. Do I have a choice on a public road to not be surveilled by the state?
No, absolutely not. I agree with you.
And I think that's the key difference here. And I get where you're coming from. Like, yes, there is surveillance everywhere. But like if a company wants to put up cameras in their own store, I have a choice to shop there or not. I don't really have a choice to not drive my kids to school or not drive to work or not drive to church.
Right, exactly. But I see some of the good things it does, like for you're familiar. I'm sure you're familiar with Mount Juliet. I don't know if you follow their like Facebook. But they catch a lot of bad guys through the flock cameras. But I also know Mount Juliet. I'm pretty sure they're abusing it in some way or shape or form that we haven't heard about yet.
I'm sure every police department is in some way, shape, or form. Like, the scales of egregiousness are different for everybody. But I'm sure that there's been somebody who wants to know. Maybe they get a wild hair. Is my wife cheating on me? Let me check the license plate or something. It could be minor, it could be major, but I'm sure that it's there. Why would we give them the opportunity to do it?
Yeah, no, I'm like I said, there's copper in it, like you said, but I just I'm just saying, we get tracked by so many different things.
Yeah, I would just lean back on it's a matter of choice in those other cases. You can choose to opt out, and you can choose to safeguard yourself. And that's a reality. You can't choose with the flock cameras. Let's go to Sharon in the borough. What's up, Sharon?
Hey, Chris, how are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm pretty good, hanging in there, except that I've been listening, and all these callers are making my hair on fire. I can't even get over the stupidity. I'm sorry. I'm not apologizing to these stupid callers that are for the flock cameras. I am sorry I'm calling people stupid, but but they are. I just can't get over what country do I live in? I'm just astounded at how many people have called in that are like, oh, they're okay, I'm okay with it. It's just like you were saying, how much of your liberty are you willing to give up for quote-unquote safety? I mean, you don't deserve either one.
Yep.
And yes, our founding fathers are rolling over in their graves right now. I mean, I'm just shocked, really, at the number of people that are okay with it. I'm shocked.
Yeah.
Astounded. I mean, they're just really stupid. Have they not read the end of the book?
Exactly.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yep. Revelation. Yeah. Yep.
I mean, this to me, when I first saw those, I couldn't believe all these cameras going up in the dark of the night, I guess, because I don't know where they came from. They came out of nowhere. All of a sudden, there's all these cameras around.
Yeah.
And, the B system is where that's going. I mean, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure that out.
I'm with you, Sharon, and I appreciate the call. I got a texter here, John. He said they already track your debit transactions. It's going to be impossible to avoid this technology. That's another thing. I think it should absolutely be a law in Tennessee that a business needs to accept cash. A cashless society is a dangerous society. And I think our state legislature should get on that as well. I got time for one more call. It's the King of Canada, Tony in Montreal. What's up, man? Appreciate you holding. What's up, Tony?
Chris, I'm a little bit flabbergasted. I'll be honest with you. Your last caller is 100% right. Like, if you believe in pre-crime investigation, then you don't believe in the American Constitution. You don't believe in the Fourth Amendment. The Fourth Amendment prevents anyone in authority, police officers, and even the police officers that called you up, saying that this flock camera is useful for investigation. The one police officer that called said it actually isn't. Good old gumshoe detective work actually gets you what you need. The killer in New York, Son of Sam, was discovered because a bunch of good detectives decided to do a check on tickets in the area of the murder, and that's how they found the son of Sam.
Well, and you make such a good point, because we'll watch the AI with our kids, right? And they'll say they're actually not learning anything. So what you're going to get if you allow this AI infrastructure to be in place, you're actually going to get less competent police officers who know what they're doing and know how to think outside the box and know how to solve crimes, because they're going to be so reliant on the technology.
Listen, the old cops that I dealt with in my law practice, okay, these guys were gumshoes. They were on the streets. They watched body language. They looked at people, how they were dressed. You know, and people say, well, they're profiling. Well, they're not profiling for the purpose of evil action. As it says in the Bible, okay, righteous indignation is permitted as long as it's not used for evil intent. Now, what is the intent of this flock camera? I don't like people just deciding that this is now China. I talked to people yesterday in China. You know what they told me? There is no mafia in China because we have cameras everywhere. Well, how do you feel about it? Oh, we're very happy because it's secure. Well, that mentality is Aldous Huxley and George Orwell. That's 1984, and that's Brave New World. Look, Brave New World said that the reason that in 1932, Aldous Huxley was writing about that. He says that we're mesmerizing people with this soma drug, SOMA, which is issuing pleasure and control. That's what they were doing. They were inoculating people with a drug so that they would become docile, like cattle. And what happened in 1949, Orwell picked up on that and said, not only that, this is post the war, so we know what dictatorial governments are able to do.
Yep.
And they were imposing themselves on our freedoms. Listen, if you are an American and you believe that the government has to protect you, then you were not fighting the revolution when the British were in your country, okay? If you don't understand that you have your own self, God gave you the right to protect yourself. The law gives you the right to protect yourself.
Yep. The government doesn't give us our rights. The government is supposed to protect them. It's completely backwards.
God gave you the constitutional right to be enlightened, Chris. And what you said, if my daughter, okay, was facing a hijacker or a criminal, whatever you want, a carjacker, in the instant that that's happening, unless you have a Glock, that person is going to have their way with you, whether you're a man or a woman. And in St. Louis, a guy shot a person dead, okay? And you know what, Chris? Don't come to my house. There's 20 shotguns waiting for you. And if you guys don't believe in the right to bear arms and to protect yourself from your own government, then you're not living in America. You're living in a socialist concept, which is Marxist and controlling. The whole point of the United States today is the 1,000 points of light that Bush talked about, is that you have to be the leaders in the world. You are not followers. You know, when I talk about Italy is one of the least powerful countries in the world, but is the most unforgettable because they use their minds and artistry. The United States is the most powerful and the most unforgettable. And if you want to divest yourselves of that great gift from God, then you will become a follower country. You will not be the leader of the world. And by the way, Chris, one thing, tell Trump to take out the IRB immediately, settle that war, and get us back on track. Because you're right, that's going to hurt us in the upcoming elections.
Yep.
IRB can never be trusted. They are the devil. We have to take them out. And the people who are listening to me say, oh, this Canadian guy's nuts about taking them out. What, the Nazis were allowed to be negotiating with the Americans? No, we dropped bombs on them in Dresden and burnt them out, and that was it. You're going to burn Jews? We're going to come in with the army. Yes, it's going to cost us this. Because, you know what? Righteous indignation means that you got to stop evil.
Amen. Hey, Tony, we're up against it. I'll close with you brought up the Nazis. You know who would have loved these cameras? Hitler would have loved flock cameras. I appreciate the call as always. That's the King of Canada, Tony. I got another text here. Said, y'all are the most paranoid people on the planet. Don't do anything illegal, and you won't have to worry about a flock camera. Same as the SAVE legislation. If it prevents one person from illegally voting, then it's needed. If the flock camera prevents one murder, one rape, one robbery, then go for it. Don't be paranoid. It's the wrong kind of thinking. We'll continue this conversation on the other side, possibly. We got more to get to. But in the meantime, I'm going to tell you about my friends at Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. As the kids head back to school, It's time to make sure your home's ready, too. And right now, Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling is helping you save with their biggest back-to-school offers of the season. You schedule that HVAC maintenance or you complete any HVAC repair, you're going to get a free dryer vent cleaning. That's an added safety and one less thing on your to-do list. If you're thinking about the new system, purchase a high-efficiency HVAC unit, and you'll be entered to win Busy Bee's Healthy Hive giveaway. That's a $1,500 sponsorship for the local school of your choice. Imagine the glue sticks you could provide with $1,500. Plus, qualified teachers, faculty, and staff members can receive a free Beehive membership when a customer purchases or renews one and gifts it to them. If you need major plumbing work, you get a $500 gift card with a qualifying whole home repipe or mainline replacement. And as always, they'll help you get it done today and pay for it later. Approved credit, 0% financing for 18 months. Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. 615-775-7833. 615-775-7833. BusyBeeHVAC.com.
Hey, it's Dan Mandis from Super Talk 99.7 WTN and Nashville's Morning News. I'm here with Chris from USS, United Structural Systems. He's checking out my basement, my foundation, my crawl space to see if there's anything wrong. Fingers crossed. All right, so there's good news and there's bad news. The bad news is we found some cracks in my basement wall. The good news, I've got Chris here who's going to walk me through the next steps.
Yes, so unfortunately, your house has been subject to the pressure of the dirt. The hydrostatic pressure, heavy dirt pushes on foundation walls, and you got a little bit of what we call bowing. So that wall is pushed in a little bit. But we have a lifetime warranty solution for that. So we install, usually in a day or two, this can be done in most situations. We install carbon fiber straps, which keep the wall from moving inward at any point in the future. It's a lifetime warranty for anybody that ever owns this house. So it's a quick and routine thing that we do, but it yields some long-lasting benefits.
It's a great selling point if you want to sell your house.
Absolutely. Good thing about our warranties is they're not only transferable, like the contract says, they're automatically transferred when you sell your house. So you don't have to sign any paperwork or even send us an email saying that you sold your house. Warranty would transfer to the next owner.
It's 11 o'clock on the dot. I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Got a crash reported, drivers. This is going to be over at the Eastern Split going westbound. Then in Whites Creek, we got road work on the shoulders. You got to slow down for everybody. This is going to be 24, both east and westbound between Old Hickory Boulevard and New Hope Road there at Whites Creek. The cool down is upon us. Full forecast coming up in 5 minutes. Right now in Nashville, Metro Police investigating after a Davidson Academy school bus was involved in a crash on 65 this morning near Old Hickory Boulevard. Metro Police say the wreck happened around 7:45, had 19 kids on the bus. One child, one adult taken to the hospital with what authorities described as minor injuries. No other injuries reported. The cause of that crash remains under investigation. We're learning more about the fatal incident behind a gas station on Fessler's Lane yesterday afternoon around 2:30. Investigators say a 46-year-old woman was sleeping underneath a parked semi-truck trailer behind the Shell station when the truck pulled away. Police say the woman was struck by the trailer's rear tires and died right there at the scene. The driver of the blue semi pulling a white trailer reportedly left, possibly because the driver didn't know he'd hit anybody.
The vehicle was described as a blue semi-truck pulling a white trailer. And Tennessee has the worst property tax hikes in the country, according to a recent report from the Beacon Center of Tennessee. Channel 4's Danielle Ledbetter reports.
Recent data shows Tennessee is leading the nation for high property taxes. So that is according to the Beacon Center of Tennessee. Volunteer state has the highest percentage increase in property taxes of any state over the past 6 years by a double-digit margin over the next closest state. Locally, the hikes have been staggering. Mount Juliet approved an 160% increase. Fairview has a 42% increase. And in Nashville, homeowners have watched their bills climb about 60% in 5 years.
Next closest state is Colorado. The report goes on to say property taxes are climbing nearly everywhere, but especially in states with new residents. The Beacon Center says Tennessee's missing a basic taxpayer protection or tax cap, making residents more susceptible to volatile property tax increases. That is something that you have heard here on WTN that Speaker of the Tennessee House, Cameron Sexton, says the House is working very hard on, is capping property taxes, also doing away with unrealized gains, or at least limiting unrealized gains on your property valuations. That's the latest news. Weather is next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News.
It's 11:07 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, how are you? I'm Chris Hand. The show's brought to you by Better Water LLC. Water filtration systems, water softeners, betterwater.com. You can join the show any way you'd like. 615-737-9986 is the phone lines. That's the text line. You can jump inside the chat on YouTube or Rumble. Whatever you want to do, we appreciate you tuning in. Whether you agree with us or whether you're wrong, your opinion is always welcome here. I'm just kidding. I don't know. I get the nuanced argument on the flock cameras. I'm just adamantly against them. And did you hear what's making noise on social media?
No, what are they talking about?
That Halloween night is going to be treated as Deflock America night.
Ooh.
That's what I'm saying.
It's a camera purge.
That's what, literally, that's what's making noise on social media right now.
Interesting.
I think that this would be a big win for the Trump administration to get behind the grassroots and ban these cameras outright ahead of midterms.
I think it's a smart pull.
There's a lot of grassroots folks that don't think Trump is working for them anymore. They're getting blackpilled. I think that this would be a nice move in that direction and an olive branch, if you will, to those individuals. That wasn't all they talked about inside the White House. I mean, it was literally just a blurb in the Oval Office yesterday, the flock cameras. There were more questions from the press, and we got them here. One of them had to do with John Ossoff, the senator from Georgia. President Trump, not exactly a fan of John Ossoff.
You'd rather travel with your aide, Natalie Harp, and build the ballroom than do your job as president. What is your response, John Ossoff?
You mean Pee Wee Herman? Pee Wee Herman lookalike? No, I would much rather do other things. We're building a great facility here. We're fixing a White House that hasn't been taken care of. You can look at this. This room was a disgraceful situation, the Oval Office, and it was let go. The whole building, the White House, was let go.
So he's referring to some comments that Senator John Ossoff made, and John Ossoff apparently, and I had missed this. I'll be honest with you, I didn't see this in real time, but a couple days ago, John Ossoff basically took a jab at President Trump, inferring that he is sleeping with one of his aides, Natalie. And I believe that it's Natalie Harp, excuse me. Natalie Harp. This was the original comment from John Ossoff that led to that question inside the White House yesterday.
And while the sailors on the Lincoln fight his war, while he fruitlessly drains our munitions and oil reserves, the president sleeps through his meetings.
Fake news.
He golfs and trades stocks. See, he doesn't want to do the job. He wants to build his ballroom and travel with Natalie on their apparently defenseless flying palace gifted by the Emir of Qatar.
Oh, fighting words. I mean, listen. If we're just judging on a pure diss track level, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. I mean, if you're going to take jabs at the president, why not, you know? Except for the ballroom, it makes a lot of sense. You know, the fact that he's saying that he's falling asleep in meetings and he doesn't want to do the job, and it's were you around during the Biden administration? Were you even paying attention at all? But no, that was fine. He was a Democrat. You didn't mind shadowy figures pulling the levers of power behind the scenes because it was Joe Biden. And I'm not saying that anyone's pulling the levers behind the scenes with President Trump. In fact, I would push back against that entirely. But that's his position. So why didn't you have the same energy under Biden? And the president responded. One more time, the president's response yesterday to John Ossoff's comments.
You'd rather travel with your aide, Natalie Harp, and build the ballroom than do your job as president. What is your response, John Ossoff?
You mean Pee Wee Herman? Pee Wee Herman lookalike? No, I would much rather do other things. We're building a great facility here. We're fixing a White House that hasn't been taken care of. You can look at this. This room was a disgraceful situation, the Oval Office.
The Oval Office does look sick. If you're watching on Super Talk TV, it feels like a presidential palace, and that's how it should feel. Let's not beat around the bush here. It looks beautiful.
It was let go. The whole building, the White House, was let go. The exteriors were falling apart.
Biden was peeing on the floor. Do you know how many urine stains? We had to tear up the whole carpet.
Columns were falling apart. The whole place was a mess. In addition, they've been trying to get a ballroom for the last 150 years. And when I said I was going to build a ballroom, the military asked if they could see me. And they say, sir, we have an opportunity to go down deep into the ground and build a military facility to go to the White House and to go with all of Washington, D.C., which would be so valuable.
So John Ossoff was asked about these comments. He was on Jen Psaki's show, Circle Back with Jen Psaki on MS Now. We don't say MSNBC. That's dead naming. We don't dead name on the Chris Hand Show. But he was asked to clarify his travel with Natalie line, and he tried to clean it up.
Why'd you decide to invoke Natalie Harp specifically in that speech?
Well, Jen, thank you for having me, and here's the point. We're in wartime. The commander-in-chief has mired us in this geopolitical disaster. People have lost their lives. Our naval logistics are frayed. The global energy system is in crisis. And he retreats into this bubble of West Wing aides who are his security blanket.
So soft. Like, just say what you mean, bro. Like, if you're gonna go scorched earth all the time. Don't tuck your tail between your legs once you're on MS Now. People would respect you a lot more if you just went scorched earth all the time, right? I would respect him a lot more if he came on MS Now and he's like, you know exactly what I mean. I think he's sleeping with Natalie Harp. Like, I would honestly respect the man a lot more. But he's like, oh, gee whiz. I don't want to get in trouble. Let me speak like a politician now. I'm not at a rally. I'm on TV. Just weak. Just beta stuff. To tell everybody what you're really thinking. And on the ballroom, it's just insane that we're doing this song and dance because we actually need the ballroom. I don't know who in the government was getting the contracts for the tent companies that they were setting up on the White House lawn whenever they're having big events. But the ballroom is going to not be paid for by taxpayers. It's not just going to benefit Republicans. It's going to benefit Democrats as well. Everybody knows it. But it's just oppose Trump at every turn, no matter what. If Donald Trump said the sky was blue, you would have MS Now on TV screaming about how it's red and orange at times.
Years they haven't had any big...
This is President Trump talking about how he needs the ballroom. They have President Xi Jinping coming in September, and he wanted to host 2,000 people, but there's no secure facility big enough for an event of that size. That the ballroom would have provided for that.
Years they haven't had any big, like we have President Xi coming on September 24th or so. I think it's September 24th. And we'd love to have 2,000 people coming to dinner and celebrating a nice evening, et cetera, but we only have a room that's going to hold 89 people, and 89 people is not appropriate. So maybe more importantly, it's totally secure with bulletproof windows, bulletproof sides. It's drone-proof. It's missile, every at the top of the line. And we need it, and especially with what's happened, unfortunately, to the world, you could say. Yeah.
We need it. We need it. And he expanded on this a little bit more in the same sit down inside the Oval Office. They were there for Ryder Williams, the 16-year-old lifeguard who saved a young man's life. It was a cool moment when they had Ryder in there. And Ryder's still sitting right next to him as these questions are coming across. But he expands a little bit more on the ballroom after fielding another question about it.
Or sort of compromise, or they just say there should be a hole there?
The people that are opposing the ballroom are people that, in my opinion, are very disloyal to our country, very, very disloyal to our country. And I think we're doing very well. We're way ahead of schedule. We're under budget. It's going to be the most beautiful ballroom of its kind. You know, when I was in China, we went to the Great Hall of China. It was this big, beautiful building. And we don't have anything like that. And we have to have that. It's very important. But we also are getting tremendous military protection, drone protection. The building is drone-proof. It's missile-proof as much as something can be missile-proof. It's totally bulletproof. Any bullet, nothing can go through the windows. We have, all top-of-the-line stuff. It's very safe. And the one thing, it's not for me, because I'm going to be here a very short period of time. When it's finished, if it finishes right on time, on budget, on time, I'll be there for 4, 5, 6 months. This is for future presidents. This isn't for me. This is for future presidents. And it's a gift. We're making a gift to our country, spending hundreds of millions of dollars to build a ballroom. And it's a gift from great patriots of this country. As an example, I'll give you names. I released some of the names. In fact, I wanted to put them out today, but we got a little busy. And this was, frankly, being with this group of people was very important to me.
The case he's making, it just makes a lot of sense. And it's like the Democrats are opposing it because it's President Trump. But if we get another Democrat president in the White House, they would benefit from that secure ballroom. And anybody that thinks that they wouldn't, you're just kidding yourself. But as it stands right now, we have a hole in the White House? It's just a gaping hole. And the construction's about 65% done. And activist judges are doing what activist judges do, and they're getting in the way. And it's just ridiculous. The whole thing is ridiculous. The fact that we're even wasting time on this is ridiculous. The fact that the president is wasting time on this is ridiculous. Just get out of the way. Let the man do a ballroom. Hillary Clinton's like, oh, he's just like Saddam Hussein. Have you seen Saddam's palaces? I've seen Saddam's palaces. This is just what Trump is doing. It's like, oh my gosh, these people. Absolutely insane. Every single one of them. Also yesterday inside the Oval Office, he doubled down on the Strait of Hormuz being a territory of the United States. This will make some people melt down, obviously.
Soon declared the Strait of Hormuz to be a territory of the United States. Could you elaborate?
Well, I just think it's a great idea. Yeah, we control it. We control it with the blockade. We have a blockade. We control it with the blockade. And I like the idea of declaring it a territory. We have total control over the strait. Now, they can be a nuisance. They can put a mine in the water, and people don't like having mines hit their billion-dollar ships, et cetera. But the blockade...
I feel like, is that a Trump understatement? People don't like mines hitting their billion-dollar boats, etc. Yeah, I wouldn't want a mine to hit like a raft of mine,
Billion-dollar ships, et cetera. But the blockade has been very effective. And, we're taking out, now maybe that will stop or maybe it'll open up even further, but we're taking out millions of barrels of oil a week. If you look at the kind of numbers that we're doing, the strait is open and the oil prices are coming down, and they will continue to come down unless we decide to do something far more drastic than we're doing. Iran is in big trouble. They have 300% inflation. The country's a mess, and the military is totally defeated. Thank you very much, everyone.
So that was the end of his round table there with Ryder Williams. He answered the questions on Iran. The conflict is a mess. We've won and we've negotiated 100 times now. I want to get out of it as quickly as humanly possible. I don't want to give the leftists and the Democrats any leg to stand on when we're talking about the midterms on the way. So I would love to get it over with. I know a lot of Americans would as well. We got a lot more on the way, a lot to get to. It's 11:21. This is Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, what's up? It's Chris Hand here for my friend Aaron Parker over at Parker Safes and Vaults in Shelbyville. If you need a safe, you want to shop with the best. This is why I got to tell you about my friends at Parker's. Take a second and picture your valuables. You got a lot of things in your home that you don't want to lose. You hold near and dear to your heart. Maybe it's a collection of firearms. Maybe it's jewelry. Maybe it's old coins or precious metals. Maybe it's something different. Maybe it's a guitar collection or just the family heirlooms, the photo albums. But whatever those things are that you wouldn't want to lose in a fire or a burglary, you understand they're irreplaceable to you and your family. But if you lost them, it's not going to feel good. And a lot of people have experienced just that. Left feeling violated, disheartened, but you could remedy that today with one phone call. You make one call, you don't have to worry about that scenario. That call is to Parker Safes and Vaults. They've been helping people protect what they treasure for close to 20 years. You make that call to Parker's, and the experts there will help you choose the right safe for your needs and your budget. They'll deliver it, and they'll install it themselves. This is a veteran-owned, family-run Christian business, and they've been helping people just like you with their security and protection needs since 2009. Serious products for serious protection. Liberty, American Security, Rhino, Holland, Graf Under, and more. All under the roof at Parker Safes and Vaults. Hundreds of 5-star reviews. These are the people to call in Middle Tennessee if you need a safe. Today is the day to make that call. 931-842-6445. 931-842-6445. Learn more online, parkersafes.com.
Times are tough. Absolutely, I agree. Now, if you need a new truck or a minivan, maybe an SUV, Mid-10 Ford, they can help you out with great selection, terrific pricing as well. Mid-10 Ford, they've been around for 56 years, since 1969, helping people get the vehicle that is right for them. They can help you save $1,000 or more on select Ford trucks. They also offer special financing as well if you need it. Now, Mid-10 Ford, I like to say that they're a one-stop shop. You can buy your vehicle there at Mid-10 Ford. You can get it serviced. They have a body shop as well. So you want a brand new or a pre-owned vehicle, you can check out all of the great deals at their website, mid10fordtrucks.com. That's mid10fordtrucks.com. They offer low-pressure sales, maximum customer service if you show up at their business, 1319 Foster Avenue. This is a family-owned business going back 4 generations. So, yeah, they do know how to treat customers. So let them help you get into your next vehicle. Again, low-pressure sales, maximum customer service. Find them online, mid10fordtrucks.com. That's mid10fordtrucks.com. Let their family take care of your family.
All right, drivers over by the airport, we've got a crash with injury. Murfreesboro Pike near Dell Parkway, also at the Eastern Split, still showing a crash off-ramp partially blocked, 24 westbound there to exit 52A and B. And in Whites Creek, we got road work on the shoulder, slowing down 24 both east and westbound between Old Hickory Boulevard and New Hope Road. And a debate tonight in Nashville on no right turns on red lights. Details coming up at 11:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Is somebody going to bring up how much the signs will cost? They're going to have to raise property taxes again. It's just crazy. Ken Weaver's in the newsroom. How are you, Ken?
I'm doing all right, Brother Hand. How about you and Brother Mace?
Man, we're happy to have you here.
I'm glad to be here.
We were debating flock cameras earlier.
I heard that.
There was a lot of people that agree with me.
Well, there's a lot to think about.
There's a lot of people that were wrong. We value all the opinions. We do. We really do. How do you feel about him personally? Where are you at?
Dude, at first, I was all for it. But when you start digging down into it and you start I always take into account the human element. And I'm sorry, I don't trust human beings.
Yep.
And it's just, take social media, for instance. I remember whenever social media first started, it was just fun. It was just lighthearted. But then everybody started learning, oh, yeah, human beings are controlling this behind the scenes.
Yep.
And there's a lot of good to social media. There's a lot of dark to social media. And I'm just one of those people who I'm torn, Brother Chris. I can't make a decision right now, but I am definitely torn. I definitely see the benefits, but man, in the wrong hands, it could be a really bad thing.
Yeah, maybe I'm an eternal pessimist. You know, maybe it's like I always want to like game plan for the worst case scenario. And I just feel like this will be turned against us as conservatives. And we saw during the Biden administration how parents that attended school board meetings were labeled domestic terrorists, and pro-lifers were labeled domestic terrorists, and traditional Catholics were tracked by the FBI. So like when you see that, and that wasn't in the distant past.
Right.
And then you game plan that out and you see just how more radical, like by today's Democrat standards, Joe Biden is a moderate and his government would have been moderate. But if you game plan that out and we have a President Mamdani down the road in 10 years and we have, as conservatives, have built this infrastructure out for them, and you look at how it could be abused, that's the issue that I have.
That's me too, man. I don't trust human beings. I mean, it's, just take these police officers that have gone rogue all of a sudden with some of this technology, and they're like tracking their boyfriends and girlfriends' exes and things like that, man. Yep. I mean, that's not good. And then like what you're talking about, I mean, this in the wrong hands, this could be used, against a mass number of Americans.
Yes, exactly. And that's my fears. And I think a lot of the audience shares those fears. A lot of them think that we're just fear-mongering. But listen, I love the debate, and I'm here for conversation, even if you disagree with me. In fact, I prefer that. We got a lot to cover during the lightning round. Did you see what Muckraker and Cam Higbee did in Minnesota? Well, Cam Higbee dressed up in a full niqab and then got to go register to vote as someone, right, in Minnesota. What Muckraker did was take it a bit further. They said, am I able to register these guys with me? And they were like, well, yeah, if you vouch for them, you can. He's like, okay, great. They just got here from the Gaza Strip. They're members of Hamas. And they were about to let these guys vote in a Minnesota election. We'll kick off the lightning round with that next at 11:30. This is Super Talk, 99.7 WTN.
$11:30 on the dot. I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Boy, the cool down is upon us, and man, is it nice. Full forecast coming up in 5 minutes. Let you know how long this cool down is going to last. Right now in Nashville, big discussion among leaders tonight on how to get around the city. Walk Bike Nashville and some Metro Council members plan to talk about the importance of pedestrian and cyclist safety in the city as the council considers legislation to limit right turns on red lights rather than an outright ban. Here's Channel 4's Holly Thompson.
Well, now, amended legislation announced last week changed that targets high pedestrian areas, places like Connect Downtown, Nashville Next Tier 1, and school zones. Well, we spoke with people who think it will make backups worse.
It should be the driver's responsibility to make sure they're looking both ways before they proceed on their route.
I think it's ridiculous, and I think right on red is the way to go. We're not New York yet.
Tonight's news conference is at the Metro County Courthouse there at 5:30. We know when the latest legislation will go through another reading in September.
Metro Nashville Public Schools investigating after student records were found at a Goodwill outlet. Channel 4 says a customer says the documents contained private information, including student names, birth dates, behavior plans. Goodwill says the records were discovered inside an item that had been put up for sale at its Cockrell Bend Boulevard outlet. The organization says the documents were removed immediately and are being returned to Metro schools. And the war with Iran, oil prices climbing while talks are at a stalemate, and tension is growing with U.S. allies as the ceasefire agreement with Iran expires. President Trump says he scaled back joint U.S. military exercises with South Korea as the Pentagon draws resources from the Asia-Pacific region for the fight against Iran. That's the latest news. Weather is next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News.
Hey, what's up? It's Chris Hand here for my friends at Zero Res Nashville. Real life in my house right now. We have 4 kids so far, 2 dogs. Baseball season is back, so there's a lot of dirt coming in and out the front door. And it may not be today, and it may not be tomorrow, but I guarantee you at some point over the next week or two, we're going to look at the carpets and think, time to call back up. And that's when we'll call Zero Res like we've done so many times before, because we like their whole approach. No harsh chemicals, no soap residue left behind, just their special ZR water cleaning system. And it actually gets the carpets insanely clean and then helps them stay cleaner longer. Plus, my wife, myself, we love that they're the Maha of carpet cleaning. They don't use the harsh chemicals. They don't leave behind that residue. It's just the ZR water. Now, if you check the reviews, it's obvious that it's not just my wife and I using them in Nashville. Thousands of families around the area are using them, and they are impressed as well. Right now is the perfect time to do it. Take care of your carpets as you get back into the school season. 615-535-9376. That's the number to call, 615-535-9376. Ask them about their 2- and 3-room specials, or if you don't like talking to people, you can always book online, ZeroResNashville.com.
The guaranteed offer is the simplest, least stressful way to sell your home. You go to our website, you fill out a quick form, we set an appointment, we bring you an all-cash offer. Literally, there's no lockbox on the front of your house, there's no showings, we pay all cash, we close in as little as 21 days, stress-free. We've helped thousands of homeowners just like you sell your home the hassle-free way with a guaranteed offer from Mark Spain Real Estate.
Hey, this is Pastor Al, and join us on Super Talk 99.7, Sunday evenings from 7 to 8. We're going to look at the news from a biblical perspective.
37 minutes past the hour, 38 minutes past the hour. Time flies when you're having fun. It's Super Talk 99.7 WTN. My name is Chris Hand. The show is brought to you by our friends at Better Water LLC, saving the frogs one water filter at a time.
I don't like them putting chemicals in the water that turn the friggin' frogs gay.
BetterWater.com. You can listen on all the apps, iHeartRadio, tune in the FM dial. You can watch us on YouTube and Rumble. Hit like, hit subscribe, share the show with your friends. It's that time of the day. You know what time of the day it is. It's time for the lightning round.
It's the lightning round with Chris Hand.
I thought there was like a little delay there, but maybe my ears misled me.
Misled, totally astray.
Okay, well, I apologize. There wasn't a delay. And if you heard that in the audience, your ears misled you too. So
just wrong.
Every day this time we do the lightning round, where we run through all the stories that we didn't have a chance to get to, stories that wouldn't fill a whole segment, stories that we think are funny, stories that we think are sad. It's a roller coaster of emotion here on the lightning round, and we like to do it every day at this time. The music's fun.
I love this.
I don't think it'd be as good without the music.
I don't either.
I don't. So, all right, should we just do it? I think we just got to jump into it. First story in the lightning round. This is all out of Minnesota, don't you know? Minnesomalia, Somali soda. I think we back in the day we settled on Minnesomalia. Is that what we decided?
Was that or Somali soda?
Yeah,
I like it both.
I thought Minnesomalia was better. So
you just like that because it's your idea.
Well, true. That's fair. That's fair and accurate reporting from Mason. So we have talked about this ad nauseum. The fact that there is a rule in Minnesota that allows you to vouch for up to 8 individuals for same-day voter registration. They don't need to show up with any paperwork. They just need to show up with you. And then you are their paperwork. You vouch for them. You say they're good to go. And then that's what happens. So a couple people did videos on this. And the first one was Cam Higbee, who is an investigative journalist, social media influencer, however you want to put it. You say tomato, I say tomato. But he showed up at a Minnesota polling place on the 11th of August, year of our Lord, 2026. By the way, if you're keeping score at home, it was Jesus that split time, not Muhammad.
True.
Yep. So we just as a point of reference, I was watching another guy yesterday. One of my buddies sent me this. It's like, how come none of the other prophets ever get blamed when bad things happen? It's only Jesus is the only one that catches flack. You know? Nobody's ever like, why didn't Muhammad stop this from happening? Weird. Anyway, Cam Higbee shows up at this polling place on the 11th of August, year of our Lord, 2026, and he's in a full niqab. Not a hijab. That's different. The hijab is just the hair covered, right? And face shows. The niqab is when you go full, how do I describe it? Full cat burglar, I guess, would be one way to put it.
That's one way to put it.
What? How would you put it?
I'm just saying.
How would you put it? I guess it's reverse cat burglar. Because the way I envision a cat burglar would be a white and black striped shirt with the eye mask akin to Robin from the 1960s Batman.
Fair.
So it would be a reverse cat burglar where everything is black and there's one strip out for the eyes. It's like a reverse Cyclops from X-Men. The only thing you're allowed to see is the eyes.
No eye beams here.
No, there's no lasers that shoot out of the eyes.
No.
So he shows up in the full niqab, just the eyes showing, pretending to be a woman. And he walks into the polling place, and he says, I would like to vote.
Have you voted here before?
No.
No. Okay, well, go down to where it says voting, take a right, and they'll help you out in there. Hello.
Hello.
Register over there.
Hello, what is your last name?
that and what is your first name?
Genevieve.
Genevieve?
And vouch.
I'm sorry?
Vouch.
She's vouching?
I vouch.
Oh, for her? And is she Genevieve?
No.
So are you wanting to vote first? You're gonna have to make a phone call.
Yes. But can she vote if I vouch?
I'm trying to get no, good luck. Does she live within this precinct?
Yes.
Yep, we can get her registered.
So if you're a little hard of hearing or you're not watching on Super Talk TV, he shows up in the full niqab. He gives a random name, and they're like, "Oh, you're good to go." This is a man dressed as a woman, mind you, and then he's allowed to vouch for somebody behind him. It's that simple. It's insane, absolutely insane. And Cam Higbee says as much. I mean, if you're watching again on Super Talk TV, it's wild. He just walks in and shouts a random name, and he's good to vote, and then he vouches for the person behind him. Nobody would take advantage of a system like this, right? I wouldn't. I certainly wouldn't. You wouldn't either. But, maybe the people that are also taking advantage of all the social welfare nets and fraud-related crimes in Minnesota would. Maybe. Maybe not. Maybe not. Muckraker took it a step further, and we've had the guys from Muckraker on the show before. It's two brothers that run Muckraker. Good guys. And they did a whole video.
These guys were actually
where he showed up with a group of guys. Okay, this is Anthony Rubin and Josh Rubin. They showed up with a group of guys, and they said, "Yeah, they're actually they just got here from Gaza. They're members of Hamas. Can we get them registered to vote?"
These guys were actually members of Hamas. They got here recently. I don't really know their citizenship status. They're from the Gaza Strip, and they want to vote today.
That's okay.
I can vote, right?
Correct. If he's vouching, you can vouch for up to 8 people.
My friends here would need to show what?
If you're vouching for them, they wouldn't need to show anything.
They don't need to show anything. Is that like a common?
They're members of Hamas. They just got here a couple days ago. I don't know their citizenship status. Are they allowed to vote? If you're vouching, yes. Yes, they are. Yes. If that's not just a full reason why the entire system needs an overhaul and why the Save America Act is so desperately needed in this country, I don't know what is. These people, again, if you're watching on Super Talk TV, this woman, I mean, she has a blank stare on her face because instinctively she knows that she shouldn't be doing this, but her hands are tied by the rules that are set in front of her. And she's like, if you're vouching for these Hamas members, then sure. Do they live in the district? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what their citizenship status is, though. So it's cool. It's good. That's Gucci. Super Gucci, actually.
These guys were actually members of Hamas. They got here recently. I don't really know their citizenship status. They're from the Gaza Strip, and they want to vote today.
That's okay.
I can vote, right?
Correct. If he's vouching, you can vouch for up to 8 people.
This is fine. There's nothing wrong with our elections, right? Nothing at all. All right, that's been going viral. Got another story here in the lightning round. It's kind of, I mean, I guess it kind of ties into the same thing. It's on a thread here. James Tallarico responding to what he thinks about the Save America Act. This is a guy that wants to be a senator in Texas. And as crazy as it is, Texas is in play currently. Like, I know. It's Texas. Texas is in play. I think Ken Paxton should win that seat. He should win that seat easily. But it's in play, and this is the guy who could win the seat.
We as human beings have the right to shape our own destinies, and we do that through the vote. And so many brave Americans, so many brave Black Americans have fought and died for that right. And so for politicians in Austin or in Washington, as they're now doing with this SAVE Act, They are trying to rob our neighbors, particularly our black neighbors, of those God-given rights. So I have a track record of using every tool in my toolbox to protect voting rights.
Right. Stunning. Brave. This is what we call the bigotry of low expectations. And this progressive white Christian, he doesn't think that black Americans are able to procure an ID. They are not able to register to vote with said ID. They wouldn't be able to find a birth certificate or prove citizenship status. So obviously the entire game is racist and rigged. Obviously. It's the bigotry of low expectations. He might actually be the senator out of Texas.
Obviously.
And I think part of that, if Tallarico wins, part of that equation is going to be salty Republicans after John Cornyn got ousted. That's going to be part of it. It really is. Another fun fact, story in the lightning round. I just keep finding ways to fall in love with Darlene Graham. I didn't want to like her.
You started out so hateful, so spiteful.
I'm here to admit that I was wrong.
Oh.
Every time I hear this woman speak, I'm like, get her in the Senate. Especially after you listen to a clip of a guy like James Tallarico, Darlene Graham becomes infinitely more attractive as a member of the United States Senate.
Coincidence? I think not.
If Democrats use the filibuster to block that legislation, would you preserve the Senate filibuster and allow the bill to fail, or would you change the rules to get it passed?
I think I just answered that question. I'm willing to get rid of the filibuster because I know the Democrats are going to do it anyway. So if it helps us get the Save America Act passed, then I think we need to go ahead and do it. I was actually one of the ones that voted to stay in session instead of taking recess to get the Save America Act passed, but I was kind of overruled by the other ones. But to me, I'm like, who gets a month off from work anyway, right? So I was willing to stay there and work to get the Save America Act passed.
Darlene. I'm really sorry about the mean things I said about you, Darlene. And you're probably going to be one of the more based members of the United States Senate should you win your race. And I'm man enough to admit I was wrong. I am.
I'm proud of you.
Thank you. I'm not always going to be right. I was very wrong. She's based.
She's based.
Like, what do you want me to say? She's like, the Democrats are going to get rid of the filibuster. I'll get rid of the filibuster first.
Let's do it now.
Why are we taking a month off for vacation? Does anybody else get a month off of vacation from work?
Nope. Well, Joan Jones.
Joan does.
That's a special circumstance.
That's fair. Outside of the members of the United States Senate and our own Joan Jones from Nashville's Morning News, nobody gets a month off from work. What are we doing? So I like Darlene. I didn't think I was gonna, but I do.
It's a good call.
Got another story right here in the lightning round. Many people thought that this was AI generated, but it in fact is not. This is Mayor Zohran Mamdani, who, put some respect on his name, is the best socialist Ugandan Islamist mayor New York City has ever had.
你好，我的名字是 Mayor Zohran Mamdani。我不知道中文，可是我想试一下。纽约市政府将免费送出2000多张百老汇演出门票。请于8月17日之前访问以下网站，了解如何参加抽签。您还可以免费获得 The Theater Development Fund 为期2个月的会员资格，享受百老汇演出的折扣。演出现场见。
And if you disagree with a word that man just said, you are an evil, racist bigot. So there's that. So what was he talking about? Do you want to know what he was talking about?
I'd love to know what he was talking about.
He released an ad offering free Broadway tickets targeting Chinese students. Everything's free in New York. Everybody loves it. It's fine. It's fine. This is fine. This is what you voted for. elections have consequences.
Who's paying for those tickets?
Shut up, bigot.
Sorry, I'm just trying to make a point.
I got another story right here in the lightning round. We haven't heard about Ceuta in a while. It kind of fell out of the news. Also, if you were watching on Super Talk TV, do you see the freeze frame of Zohran Mamdani looking like a comic book villain?
It's terrifying.
Isn't that it'll haunt you in your dreams?
Just a little bit.
I didn't mean to pause it there.
But you nailed it.
It was a Bob Ross happy little accident.
Ugh.
All right, back to the lightning round. We haven't talked about Ceuta in a while. That's not because it's fixed. It's because it's uncomfortable to talk about. It's basically a full-on slum at this point. It says, I meme, therefore I am, X account. He posted this video from Adventure Elliott Official, who was down there in Ceuta, it's at the northern tip of Africa. It is a Spanish territory, and they say that there are still thousands of illegal immigrants living on the beach right now, and they're making shacks. They're in full shack-making mode. That's what's going on down there.
The situation in Ceuta is far from over. The media is not showing you guys the full truth. Look at how big these shelters are here. There are hundreds of shelters all along the beach, maybe 2 kilometers long. Fires, food, human excrements, human disease, tuberculosis, scabies, just to name a few. That's
Cultural enrichment, they say. It's diseases like that build character. And I don't think anybody should pretend it doesn't. Scabies builds character.
Oh, yeah, so much.
It's cultural enrichment. It looks like California. In fact, when if you closed your eyes and you pretend that he didn't say Ceuta, it sounds like he's describing Skid Row, where there's also outbreaks of tuberculosis and scabies.
Ooh.
There is. There's like mutant diseased rats running around California.
You can't handle the truth.
Where would you rather be? Like, if you had a choice, would it be Ceuta or Skid Row, California?
I'm in danger.
This is a really bad situation. The locals have been totally abandoned. Unfortunately, these people are also abandoned. They don't know their next steps. They don't know where they can go. The Moroccans that are here don't want to go back. The sub-Saharan Africans that are here can't go back. Morocco won't accept them. It is terrible. Families can't go out that live nearby. They can't go out safely, especially women, young girls. It is just an unfortunate situation.
And it's still ongoing. I mean, just because the media stopped talking about it doesn't mean that the situation in Ceuta is over. It's actually just getting worse. So, silver lining? Silver lining. 11:56, Super Talk, 99.7, WTN.
Hey, what's up, guys? It's Matt Murphy with Super Talk 99.7 WTN, and this morning we are out and about at my house, my brand new house that I've been talking about on the radio, with Nate from USS. What's up, brother? How are you?
I'm excellent. How about you?
I'm doing well.
Good.
We invited Nate out. Now, obviously, when you're a new homeowner, especially when you buy a house that's got a few years on it, you don't know what you're dealing with in terms of foundation. And I know that Nate knows a lot more about what I don't see and what I don't know about than I do. So bring the experts out and get them to check out your house. Hey guys, Matt Murphy again with Nate with USS, and Nate has just wrapped up kind of a look at the house. And Nate, what'd you find?
Well, your house is in pretty good shape for the age of it. I had to look pretty hard to find it.
Okay.
Your house being on a slope like it is here, I think we could do a lot of good by trying to terminate your downspouts a little
Okay.
further from the house there.
Okay.
Roof water is the killer of foundations, and so if we can just get it to a positive grade to drain away from your house, I think that's real cheap insurance.
You want to kind of get it out and downhill.
That's right. Yeah.
That's
So
the idea.
make sure that it doesn't come right back down towards the foundation walls, causing issues, settlement or leakage.
Now, if folks are watching this video and they are like, we need to get Nate out to the house to do a look. I mean, I watched you do it. It's, like 30, 45 minutes, something like that.
Yeah.
To do a comprehensive kind of an examination around the house. And they just give you a call and schedule?
Yeah, absolutely. You can call our main phone number, or you can call reach USSTN.com and schedule right through the website there. Our girls in the call center will get back to you just about immediately, as long as it's during business hours. So
this just makes a lot of sense, folks, for you guys to do an examination of your house like we've done, to check it out. I'm going to get those gutters done with Nate and his team at USS, and then we'll do a video and let you know how those look at the end of all of this. So thank you, guys.
Hey, that'd be great.
We appreciate you, brother.
Matt, we appreciate you.